For the Wyoming Valley West School District regular May meeting of May 10th, 2023 at 7:14 PM. A moment of silence followed by the salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Kaczynski,
Here.
Mr. Tabascus, Mr. Hardwick,
Here.
Mr. Keating,
Here.
Mr. Savage,
Here.
Mr. Perfetto,
Here.
Mr. Majer, Mrs. Cassatt. Here. Mr. Camus.
Present. I'd like to announce there was an executive session held prior to this meeting to discuss two personnel items. Student representatives, Mr. McLaughlin and Mr. Nabrocki.
Here are updates from the high school. Colleen Ryan, Ariana Riz, Georgia Chasolis, and Jade Udzella were selected by faculty as seniors of the month for the month of May. The students will be honored at a breakfast with a faculty guest of their choosing. They will receive a certificate from administration and their photograph will be featured in the local newspapers and on the high school webpage. Congratulations to these seniors. The senior junior prom is at the Woodlands and that will be on Friday, May 12th from 5:30 to 10 p.m. The high school will be participating in the spring Keystone exams during the month of May. The test schedule is as follows. Monday, May 15th, Biology Module 1. Tuesday, May 16th is Biology Module 2. Wednesday, May 17th is Literature Module 1. And then Thursday, May 18th is Literature Module 2. Friday, May 19th is Makeups for Biology and Literature. Monday, May 22nd and May 23rd, the following day are Algebra. And then Wednesday, May 24th are Algebra Makeup Keystone exams. The high school music department is hosting Spartan Arts Festival at the high school on Sunday, May 21st from 1 to 7 p.m. Here there will be music from 1 p.m. to 6 in the various venues throughout our building, as well as displays by our visual arts department and the distribution of from our interim literary arts magazine. Also, a variety of food trucks will be back and serving food. The schedule is 1 to 2 o'clock concert band, 2:15 to 2:45 is the concert choir honor concourse, 3 to 4:15 the orchestra and chamber orchestra on stage, 4:30 to 5 is jazz band on the concourse, and 5:15 to 6:15 is the full choir in the gymnasium. Thank you all for your support of the arts throughout the year, and we hope to see you there. The WVW World Language Department is proud to announce the winners of the National French and Spanish exams given this spring. We had about 150 students participate in these exams. For the National French Contest, Leah St. Louis received a platinum award in the completely native category, indicating that she received a perfect score on her exam, placing her first in the nation. She was honored at a dinner at King's College with her family and French teacher, Miss Cabella. Dennis Lee also received an honorable mention in level 2 in the absolute beginner category. The following students received recognition for their outstanding performance on the National Spanish Exam level 2. Anya Riche, bronze medal, classroom experience. Greta Di Giovanni, Isabella Dolan, and Ashley Mena, silver medal, classroom experience. Diego Ariola, bronze medal, classroom experience. Brittany Rodriguez, honorable mention, classroom experience. Level 3, Heath Stockla, silver medal. Gallo Ortiz, bronze medal, bilingual. Lily Cannon, Emma Moses, Sarah Park, Kaylee Pixon, honorable mention, classroom experience.
Karen Cuesta, honorable mention, outside experience. Yadiel Gutierrez and Estrella Lara, honorable mention, bilingual. Level 4, Jeanette Yupa, bronze medal, bilingual, and Evelyn Saltz, honorable mention, classroom experience. We would like to congratulate these students and their teachers on these outstanding achievements. Senior student activities for the remainder of the school year are On Wednesday, May 24th at 7 p.m., the senior award ceremony will be in the high school auditorium. On Thursday, May 25th is the senior tea at noon on the high school concourse. Wednesday, May 31st is the senior cookout. Thursday, June 1st, is senior reflection at 3 p.m. in the high school auditorium. Friday, June 2nd is the senior trip. Monday, June 5th is the senior class picture at Spartan Stadium. Tuesday, June 6th is graduation practice at Spartan Stadium. And Wednesday, June 7th is the graduation ceremony at Spartan Stadium at 6 p.m. Student Council is hosting a Building Appreciation Day at the high school for all faculty and staff tomorrow. Also recently, 3 of our outstanding high school senior students competed at the Future Business Leaders of America State Leadership Conference in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in the field of marketing. Isaac Bowen, George Hebda, and Max Saporito finished 3rd out of 126 total competitors statewide, placing 3rd, which allowed them to qualify and compete at the FBLA National Leadership Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, from June 26th to June 30th. Isaac, George, and Max are all the first students to qualify and attend the FBLA NLC in 20 years. We wish them good luck in Georgia.
That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah, that's great.
That really is. That's great. Where's the senior trip this year?
Knobles. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
We also have our books that we were given the privilege of picking to donate by the board to our high school library. The book that I've picked is Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and it's a graphic novel depicting stories and horrors of the Holocaust. I picked this book for one of many reasons. One, my dad is a high school history teacher at Lake Lehman High School, and he teaches a Holocaust class, and he showed me this book, and I found it very interesting. And I also picked this in memory of a man who I feel honored to have had the privilege of seeing him tell his story and hearing his story. His name was Alan Moskin. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. And I remember I was in 5th grade, and he came to Lake Lehman High School, and I got out of school early so I could see his presentation. And the work that he had done was remarkable. He throughout his life, he kept his horrors and stories from the war to himself. He didn't tell his family. He didn't tell his wife anything. And then he realized one day that World War II veterans were dwindling, and people were started to die, and these stories needed to be heard. So he had a full turnaround, and he started to tour to different schools and different high schools, and one of them being Lake Lehman, where my dad brought him, and then eventually later also to Wyoming Valley West. He came a couple of years ago to speak. So I picked this book in memory of him because I keep him very close to my heart.
Very nice.
I don't think I could top that. So the book I picked is called The Energy Bus, and it is written by a man named John Gordon. Now, I stumbled upon John Gordon through a podcast known as Born to Impact. And this podcast is the voices the people talking on the podcast are a guy named Joel Marion and Dan Long. And they speak about self-help and life tips and that kind of thing, and living a life of passion and purpose. And on one episode, they had on a guy named John Gordon, who went on to talk about the power of positive leadership. And he talked about the people driving the numbers, not the other way around. Meaning, if you allow the members of an organization to feel welcome, secure, and excited in what they're doing, the overall group will succeed as a result of that. One big thing that he hit home in the podcast was the idea of we, not me. And John Gordon went on to speak with this philosophy to big organizations like Snapchat, the Los Angeles Rams, spoke very closely with Sean McVay, and just this power of positive leadership within a group. So this book speaks about 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Jake and I both are to donate these books to you guys. Thank you so much for having us this year. And we wish you guys the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
Mr. Camus, at this time, we do have a pin presentation for Jacob and John. And I think I probably speak on behalf of the entire board where I say you two have been a credit to your families. You've done a phenomenal job here, and I'm sure you're going to be very successful in your future. You've been role models here at Wyoming Valley West, and we want to thank you for all your contributions. This is Karen.
Thank you very much. No, you're on.
Honored to present to you for the first time. This is your graduation regalia to wear. It signifies your service and leadership here with the student council. Of course, the spirit, the heart of a Spartan is always most important. You exude that. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Very much. Superintendent's comments, Mr. Tosh, please.
Thank you, Mr. Camus. As our two seniors said, the senior prom is Friday, May 12th at the Woodlands. A couple announcements that I didn't make on Sunday, but are important enough that I think to repeat. All fifth grade parents and guardians, the middle school will host a 5th to 6th grade parent orientation on Monday, May the 22nd, here in the middle school auditorium. And the middle school will host its annual National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony tomorrow, May 11th at 6 p.m. here in the auditorium. 150 students will be recognized. Congratulations to the honorees and their families in advance. I'm also pleased to announce that the high school social studies teacher, Miss Katie Finnegan, was chosen to receive this year's Sarah and Anthony F. Kane Junior Achievement Award, sponsored by the United Way of Wyoming Valley. The Sarah and Anthony Kane Award was created in 2002 to honor and recognize the late Tony Kane and his wife, Sarah, who were strong advocates of volunteerism and charitable giving. Tony was the president of the Wyoming Valley West Education Association, PSEA, for over 25 years. He was well respected and viewed as a leader among his peers. He encouraged and demonstrated support of the United Way on all levels. Since its inception, the award has been presented to 20 educators from across our community, recognizing their extraordinary commitment to schools and the community. The award would be presented to Miss Finnegan at this year's Day of Caring breakfast on June the 1st at the Woodlands. Congratulations to Miss Finnegan, and thank you for your dedication to your school and to our community. Finally, congratulations to Benjamin Palomchek and Daniel Stavish for placing in the top 10 in the state of Pennsylvania Council on Financial Literacy Stock Market Simulation, sponsored by Fidelity Bank. Daniel Stavish finished 7th, and Benjamin Palomchek finished 1st out of over 10,000 participants in the high school division. Each contestant was allotted $100,000 and had 10 weeks to trade stocks. Benjamin's portfolio, the winning portfolio, topped $3.6 million at the end of 10 weeks. Thank you to their stock market club advisor, Mr. Thomas Cunningham. Congratulations to Daniel and Benjamin on a job extremely well done. Thank you, Mr. Camus.
Thank you, Mr. Tosh. Statements from interested citizens. James B.
Good evening, James Baldwin, West Wyoming. First, I just want to congratulate those students too that did awesome on the stock market and the class officers. That's really awesome. We have some great kids in our district. Tonight, I just have a couple quick things and I won't take up too much time. I just wanted to check on the status of the Rhythm app and what's happening with that in the district. Is that still being used? Or I know there was a legal question up on that.
I personally do not have.
It's,
the answer
it's,
to that.
it's still being used. We don't have a great amount of use right now, and we're reevaluating it for next year at this time.
Okay. I think I may have asked in the past, so which students are using the Rhythm app at this point?
Pardon me?
What students in the district are
I would have
using
to
it?
get that information from you tomorrow. I don't have it available at this time.
Okay, do you know if it's all throughout the district, if it's just in
Just the high
certain
school.
grades in the high school?
Yep.
Okay. And then my other question was just related to the ESSER grants and where the district is at. I guess when would the district no longer be bound by the terms and conditions of the ESSER grants and basically the terms and conditions of the ESSER grants?
So I don't know what terms and conditions you're
Well,
referring.
basically the district has to do certain things to receive the money. So I was just kind of curious at like when that ends.
So
When
I'm not-
is the district gonna fulfill all its obligations by?
So our, what, September of next year?
Mhm.
I think it's the September. Mr. Hardwick, you're the chairman. Do you remember the exact? date?
Basically, all the money's earmarked for HVAC improvements in all of the buildings. And that's
Minus your 20%.
of last year.
So we will close that out early September this year.
Okay.
Or next year.
That's what I had. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I have a motion to approve the regular April 12th, 2023 board meeting?
Second.
Special meeting. And the May 3rd, 2023. Motion?
So moved.
Second, on the question?
On the question, sir, I just want to make sure, and I don't know if it's important or not, but the special meeting. So the wording is in the minutes, awarded and approved site log energy services with a guaranteed energy savings for pre-purchase of equipment for ESSER funding totaling 997-401. We also approved, and I don't know if it's within those dollars or if it's within the approval, and I guess I'm looking to Meyer, should we make note that that includes the two dugouts? That we don't know that the ESSER funding will for sure approve those. And I guess it's just a matter of record. Does that need to be included in the language there?
For the minutes?
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to include it.
Okay.
So I am led to believe, Mr. Hardwick, that 15% of the ESSER's funding or the ESCO part of this, the energy savings grant, 15% is allowed to be purchased on dugouts and other things with that involve children.
Okay.
So I'm under the impression, or I'm pretty certain that vote wasn't the guaranteed vote to how we're paying for it. It was just to present it through the ESSERs, which we are allowed to do.
And maybe that's really my question then, because it, just the way it's worded, it makes it sound like we just approved the pre-purchase of equipment for ESSERs. And I thought our special meeting, did we not approve the site log contract that included pre-purchase?
It was the contract for pre-purchase. Myra, I'm gonna need your help on this, but it was, to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Hardwick, what I thought I approved was the contract for pre-purchase.
Pending our review of it.
So this language only covered that pre-purchase equipment. We still have to then approve site logs contract in full.
In June.
Okay, I just was, then this is fine as is. I wanted to make sure I'm clear.
Mr. Hardwick, we're due to get the bids at our June meeting. We're supposed, according to what he said that evening, we're supposed to get them like a day or two before that June meeting, so we can announce that June, our June meeting.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure it was more wording than anything. Thank you.
Anything else? All in favor? Committee reports. Mr. Keating, do you have anything under contracts, personnel, or finance this evening?
Under personnel, I'd just like to thank all of the fine candidates that we interviewed for the Dana Street position. All of our long-term subs gave wonderful interviews, and the candidate that was unanimously selected is on this evening's agenda. Did really well, and I think be a big asset to our school district. And I'd also, Rick, just like to bring up the budget that we're going to introduce this evening is by no means our final budget. We've asked our business manager and the administrative team to throw everything that they possibly can at us, kind of leave no stone unturned as to what our maximum needs would be for next year. And this budget does include all of these ESSERS projects. That's why it's substantially increased from last year's budget, because we have to expend this money, and it's part of what Mr. Widiak included in the 23-24 plan. But the budget that we're going to introduce tonight totals $105,260,646 in revenues, and $106,520,990.46 in expenses. With everything that Mr. Widiak reported to us, all of the needs and wishes of all of the buildings and admin team in the building, at this point, we're $1,260,344.37 short. If we were to just throw everything in there, but that's not what we're going to do. The board's committed to working and identifying what the true needs of the district are, and whittling that $1.2 million gap down as close to even as possible. So again, what we're introducing tonight is not indicative of what we will settle on by June 30th of this year. And we think that we will end up coming up with a budget that works very well for the district and those that we serve. I just, want to make it clear, because we'll get headlines that we're $1.2 million short, and we're not $1.2 million short. We've asked everything to be thrown at us so we can make informed decisions as to what it is, the true needs of our school district are. And we're confident that we will have no problems balancing this out with the true needs of our school district. That's all I have, Mr. Camus.
Thank you, Mr. Keating. Mr. Savage, you have anything this evening?
Mr. Camus, no, I don't.
Thank you. Mr. Hardwick, special education in the ESSERS.
Yes, sir. Briefly, Special Education Committee, we did meet this month. In fact, just within the week. We have several due process cases that are in process. With what little we could talk about, I can share that we are moving forward with litigation on one of the due process cases. And one, I'll even quote Ms. Barada's email, we won. It seems that the opposing legal had dropped the case, so we actually advanced the cause on our side in one of these litigation cases. The other part we talked about was autistic support, which we've talked about as a board in length. And the special committee is just strongly recommending to the board that we move forward with the requests from the special education director for the autistic support for the classrooms and the 2 teachers. And then within ESSERS, We've talked about it. All the money is allocated. Mr. Tosh, you might help me a little bit with the monitoring. We had monitors in last week for ESSERS.
ESSER's federal monitors were in for 3 days. We spent an awful lot of time with them. They took a really in-depth look at ESSER's 1 and 2 on how we were spending. At the conclusion of it, we will get within 30 days a report from them, but they were very happy with, for the size of our district and the amount of money that was allocated. They were very happy with the accountability that this district showed as far as procuring contracts and that type of thing. There were no glaring errors in the report. There were some minor tweaks that we have to do that we'll be getting very shortly, but the auditors were very complimentary of the district.
There's one part, I'm sorry, that I missed with the Special Education Committee. Thank you, Mr. Tosh, for the support there. So part of our meeting dealt with what we received in the district as a disproportionality reporting. To try to summarize this, obviously, we've all worked hard on making improvements to our safety and security procedures, policies, including a zero tolerance policy where we have offenders. Now, this reporting comes from the 2021-2022 school year. So it's from last year's number, but the Department of Education has come forward and basically said that we are disproportionate in the suspensions we have in school with regard to kids that have IEPs, meaning they're part of the special education process. So, and again, Mrs. Barada or Mr. Tosh, if there's anything to add, I believe there's a meeting and some activities required because of the Department of Education's inquiry on this. But I just wanted to make it part of the discussion so people understand when you take steps and we do things in one area, we might have impacts in another that we have to work with. So that's primarily why I bring this up.
And I should add to that, Mr. Harwick, thank you, that the year in question, we may have already met the requirements of the correction plan. So that's something that we're looking forward to.
That's all I have. Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harwood. Mr. Dickon, do you have anything this evening for your safety committee? No. Thank you. Under buildings and grounds, I would like to read our incidents from our SROs this evening. And Mr. Harwood, to the disproportionate, these numbers look great. So the Wyoming Valley West High School reported by SRO Juvenile Detective Jeffrey Lewis. Total reported incidents, 6, total juvenile petitions, 6, total criminal complaints, 0, total non-traffic citations, 4, physical fights, 13. From SRO Officer Sosnowski, 6 police incidents, criminal arrest petitions, 2, citations, 2. And at State Street, 4 physical altercations. So it seems like it's working. At least I think so.
The numbers are significantly improved from where we were
That's great.
a few months ago.
Again, I'd like to compliment the board on the fact that at our high school, middle school, we have an SRO. The board's been proactive for safety and security, put 2 Curley officers in each building in addition to what we have over at State Street. And as Mr. Camus has said, I think on the average monthly, we're seeing a decrease in the amount of reported incidents.
And thank you to our staff, our teachers, administration. It's working. So thank you. Thank you to all. General recommended action items, items 1 through 10. May I have a motion, please? So moved.
Second,
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Usavage?
Yes.
Mr. Profetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Kamis?
Yes. Staff recommended action items, 1 through 15. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on a roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Usavage?
Yes.
Mr. Profetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Kamis?
Yes. Finance recommended action items. May I have a motion to accept bills for payment, the finance manager's report and our treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. On a roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Usavage?
Yes.
Mr. Profetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Kamis?
Yes. Board members' comments. Mr. Savage, you have anything this evening?
I do not, Mr. Camus.
Mr. Profetto?
I just want to thank Mr. Hardwick and our special ed director for the meeting we had yesterday. It was very productive and looking forward to hiring 2 new staff members.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Profetto. Mr. Pazinski, do you have anything?
Nope.
Mr. Keating?
I'd just like to commend Rick, our 2 student representatives for really doing a nice job. Really shows what our buildings are doing for you and what your education has given you to this point in your lives. It's really nice to hear you guys up here share your stories. So again, congratulations for job well done.
Thank you, Mr. Keating. Mrs. Cassatt, do you have anything this evening?
Congratulations to all the up and coming graduates, and
Yes.
hopefully they had a good school year, and it sounds like we're heading in the right direction.
Thank you. Mr. Hardwick?
I would just ditto the comments of the 2 fine gentlemen. I'm glad I got to sit on this end and rub elbows. I think they taught me something.
Excellent. Mr. Tosh, do you have anything to add this evening?
Nope, we're good. Thank you, Mr. Camus.
I do have one question, just for clarity purposes, for advertising our budget, where will that go? Just so everybody in TV land knows, or computer land, I should say.
Our paper of general circulation, which is this Citizens Voice.
Okay,
Locally.
will it be on our website as well, or,
Sure,
and we'll have a copy at our district office?
it's already on the website.
And it'll be at our district office
It's
as
there
well?
too.
Excellent. Yeah, sure. If you keep it quick, if you don't mind.
I know you guys are trying to wrap up here, but I did have a question that just some of the comments that were made about the committees, and I was just hoping you can just elaborate just a little bit. When you were mentioning the disproportional reporting that the Department of Education was pointing out regarding suspensions with children with IEPs, if you could just explain like why that would be an issue. Obviously, you're not suspending students for no reason, so I would assume that they're pointing it out. But why? Why would that be important? If you're holding the students accountable that are doing bad, why would that be an issue for the Department of Education?
I'm wondering if a layman's terms is very helpful here. Layman's terms. Evidently, the Department of Education looks at this district among all the other districts and gets some benchmarks of tracking suspensions within schools. They obviously break it down into children with IEPs and children who do not have IEPs. From what I'm putting together, the last school year, 21-22, our numbers were higher than maybe some of our comparative school districts. So they've come back and said, you need to explain what's going on and why your numbers are higher.
And what will be the consequence of having higher numbers? I mean, why is it important? I mean, I would assume that the school district is doing the right thing. So why is that even important?
It's a really great question.
So I think we can comment on that one right yet, because we don't know. Is that true, Mr. Tuck?
Yeah, we'll be meeting with a representative from the Department of Ed just to touch base so that they're aware of part of our rationale, and we'll get a little bit of information from them on what their thought process is.
Right, so there's no threats from them saying they're gonna withhold some funding if you don't get these. There's nothing like that. It's just, okay. All right, thank you. Have a good night.
And I will report back once that's done, so we can summarize this and keep everybody informed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next scheduled meetings, our June work session will be Wednesday, June 14th. And then immediately following will be our regular June meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn? please?
So moved.